What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Black Tide TV. I recently produced a video, which I'll be linking in the description down below, where I answered frequently asked questions for Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. The plan was to always follow up with a sequel to that video with frequently asked questions in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. However, I found that all of the questions were sort of leaning in a singular direction. All of the questions, no matter where I found my information, pretty much boiled down to, what's the best epic variant? Which epic variant should I be spending my salvage on? Which epic variant should I be looking for in supply drops? Is this epic variant better than this epic variant? So I'm basically doing the frequently asked questions video today, but I've included it into a small list of the 5 epic prototype lab variants that every player should own in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Prototype lab variants only, so I'm only including the variants that you can currently purchase with your salvage. That means no DLC, no Quartermaster exclusive, and no mission team. These are ones that you can buy through playing the game enough. You'll earn salvage and you can buy these ones, and that's why I've given you this list, because it's tangible. You can go out and actually earn these variants rather than just, oh, you should own this variant, even though it's completely up to luck and how much money you're going to spend on COD points. So in today's video, those 5 epic prototype lab variants and 1 honorable mention. Let's get that honorable mention out of the way right now. The Volk Corruption. This one is an honorable mention only because it isn't as useful as it is at the current stage of this game as it was at the beginning. Unfortunately, when the game first came out, the Volk Corruption was a Quartermaster Collection exclusive, meaning you couldn't earn it through purchasing it with salvage. Eventually, it became available for purchase with salvage. Unfortunately, it's just not as useful anymore. The Volk Corruption has the Mo Money epic trait, which basically grants you extra experience with every single kill. So it helps you to level up a lot faster. And say, if, for example, you're not your final 10th prestige yet, or whatever, 15th prestige, whatever the final prestige was before they made it 30, and you're still looking to unlock some classic weapons, or you still need to level up for some reason or another, this is the absolute best bet for you. You'll be flying through the ranks, not to mention the fact that it does do increased damage on top of the Volk's already incredibly high damage. It's one of the better Volk variants, and it just helps you level up a lot faster. So at the beginning of the game, this was one of the most ideal variants. Nowadays, it's not as great, but it's still worth an honorable mention. Now on to the official list. The very first weapon, the NV4 Flatline. Of course, this one was going to be on the list. It's one of the most overpowered variants in the game. Always has been. It's never received a nerf, apart from the nerfs to the NV4 itself. The NV4 Flatline has the Precision epic trait, which basically grants it infinite damage range with slightly reduced fire rate. The fire rate reduction isn't substantial. You're not going to notice it too well. However, the infinite damage range, you're certainly going to notice that. That means that this weapon will never drop off in its damage range, meaning in core game modes, that's a 4-shot kill, even with a suppressor, across the longest sightline in the entire game. Always a 4-shot kill. It's never going to drop off to a 5-shot kill, or even a 6-shot kill, even though I'm not exactly sure if the MV4 is a 6-shot, but if you stack like the hollow point or whatever the headshot multiplier is on this weapon, and you use this one and you get headshots, you can get a 3-shot kill with the NV4 at any range as long as you're accurate enough. In hardcore game modes, this variant only gets better. The NV4 Flatline, being a 4-shot kill traditionally, will always get you a 1-shot kill in hardcore. With the Flatline, regardless of distance, even if you're using a suppressor, 1-shot kill at all ranges, it is the best weapon to use in hardcore, period. The next epic variant that I could definitely recommend to you is one of my personal favorites. That's the Wrecked, the R3KT. This one's got the Breakpoint epic trait, which basically makes the R3K, or the Wreck, into a fully automatic weapon. It's got a little slower fire rate than you would expect, but it has very accurate recoil. It's so easy to control. It's a very accurate weapon. It does a fair amount of damage. Like, you can get a 3 to 4 shot kill with this thing fairly easily, especially if you're getting headshots, and it's just so much fun to use. It completely tosses up what you know about the R3K, and it just makes it into a really fun weapon to use. It's got an absolutely beautiful camouflage pattern. It is one of my favorite variants in the entire game, and I cannot recommend it enough. The third in our list is one of the variants that isn't exactly practical. It's not like a great variant that everyone should have because it's going to make you a god, but the Erad Cyclopean. It's such a fun variant to use. I cannot express that enough. It's the wackiest variant in the game. It shoots a freaking giant dildo at people. It's a laser beam. I've always called them a dildo. It's a thing from the Advanced Warfare days with the EM1 Poner, the big purple freaking laser beam. It's just a fun thing, and that's what this variant is all about. It's all about fun. It's just a jokey variant. You run around, you slap people with your dildo. Obviously, the epic trait is the particle beam, making it shoot a beam of energy. You hit enemies, and it actually does do a fair amount of damage. Like, you're dropping people pretty quick with this thing, but it's just so much fun to use. It's so much different than every other variant in the game, and it's just for having fun. And I think that's really important with Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, especially at this point when the game's getting older. There's not as many people playing. Most of the people playing are pretty sweaty tryhards. It's just fun to run around and slap them around with this thing whenever you're done with this super sweaty situation that is Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. The next one is the one that you are seeing in today's gameplay. That is the RPR Evo Bosuzoku, the absolute best, the best RPR Evo variant in the game. I said it, it's way better than the Ripper. The Ripper only increases your fire rate. It's really cool because the Ripper is, of course, that traditional weapon from Call of Duty Ghosts, but the Bosuzoku is again a wacky weapon. It's very different. Instead of doing increased damage to the head, you're going to do increased damage to the groin. However, we described this in the epic variant review of this video. That increased damage to the groin is actually more damage than you would be doing to the head anyways. The multiplier to the groin with this weapon is the highest multiplier for anything in the entire game. If you are shooting people in the nuts with this weapon, it is doing an amazing amount of damage. It is the highest amount of damage that a bullet weapon can do. I joke you not, apart from sniper rifles, of course, but it's very, very powerful. It changes up the entire fundamentals of the game. For the most part, people have trained all of these years playing Call of Duty to aim for the head, get headshots, and kill people quicker. This completely screws up everything that you know about Call of Duty. You're now shooting people in the groin. It's a wacky weapon. It's got an awesome paint job, but it's just something that you need to learn how to use, and once you learn how to use it, it is actually the most effective RPR Evo variant in the entire game, hands down, no competition. Very powerful weapon, very funny, jokey weapon, and it's just a lot of fun to use. And last but not least, this one isn't necessarily for everybody, but the KBS Longbow Harbinger is the best sniper rifle variant in the game in my opinion. Of course, if you're a huge sniper, you're probably going to be using the Intervention. It's a lot better for a trained sniper. However, if you're looking for a weapon that's almost always going to deal you a one-shot kill with the sniper rifles, the KBS Longbow Harbinger has the feeder epic trait, which basically reduces the rechamber time and reduces movement speed. So basically what it's going to do is you're just going to be able to load more bullets into the chamber faster. You can hit more enemies quicker. It speeds up time to kill with the KBS Longbow Harbinger when you're going on feeds, which is great for if you are a powerful sniper, but you're not the best in the accuracy situation. But that is it for today's video, guys. 5 epic prototype lab variants that everyone should have, plus 1 honorable mention. What is your favorite epic variant in the entire game? Of course, all 5 or 6 of these variants I have done epic variant reviews on, so if you want more information, I've linked all of the epic variant reviews in the description down below. That is it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you did, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.